You want to do this one person at a time because you want to avoid groupthink. Okay. People have a tendency to actually agree with one another and pile on the same idea. Know your goals and your questions ahead of time. So this is where you actually are doing some of your market research ahead of time. When we teach you about market research, we talk about you actually defining demographics. What does that niche look like? Who's that specific market that you're trying to get? So you actually want to do that work that will help you refine who you're going to try to do this customer development with. And you want to have your questions prepared ahead of time. You need to separate the difference between getting what behavior is with people and what feedback is. Some of this along the behavior lines may feel like it sticks a little bit better with the product piece of it, but it's about asking about a user's behavior and mindset. So do they actually think that there's a problem that needs to be solved versus if you're showing them a product, them trying to give you feedback to try to help you adjust the usability and the functionality of the product. That's not necessarily completely what you're trying to get from this person right now. In some ways, you're trying to find out, would you actually use this service or this product at all? I've alluded to this a few times that you've got to get ready to hear what you don't want to hear. I keep reminding you, remember, build, measure, and learn. This is the learning part. If you only hear what you want to hear, then you've wasted everyone's time. Okay? So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself and then get excited when you do get those pats on the back and those folks that say, hey, you solved this problem, great. But be prepared to have a differing of opinion in terms of the product or the service that you're bringing to market. You've got to disarm politeness training, okay? You've got to disarm the political correctness or you'll never get the truth from anybody. So what you want to do is ask for brutal honesty and let them know, hey, the worst case scenario for me is that I've put together a product or a service that people don't want. Okay? You need to depersonalize this. You don't want people to feel like if I say to you what I really think about this, that's going to hurt your feelings. People will not give you true feedback. And if you're in that place and zone, then it's not the time for you to be doing customer development. Okay? So we've got to have that thick skin on. Kelly talked about this quite a bit with Intuit. Always follow a yes or no question with an open-ended question. You're trying to get the details, people. The more that you've got the detailed information, the more that you will be able to have that information and the data so that you know what you're going to pivot on and what you're going to proceed on. So what do you need to move? Get back into that circular zone of build, measure, learn, and what's the part that you actually drive forward? You want to focus on actual behavior, not speculative feelings. So keep it factual about the product or service, not the what ifs. This is what you actually have right now. So you're not having this conversation about what's going to happen in the future. You want to have the conversation about what is the product and service that you have to offer right now, the way it is to the marketplace. You got to listen and not talk. Okay. So we've got that old saying, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. But the more that you can listen, what you need to do is hold the space. What's most likely going to happen is that there could be some awkward silence, okay? Many people are not comfortable with awkward silence. Get used to it. Sit there. Wait it out. Let the customer fill the silence instead of you. Otherwise, you're just going to learn more about what you already know inside your head. Follow your nose and drill down. Keep your radar on. Keep asking why. Don't be rude about it, but you want to keep at it. As long as they keep talking and they're willing to give out more information, the more that you do those why questions, you're going to get more and more truthful information. Parrot back or misrepresent to confirm. I like to say reflect back as well. So just stop being so sure that you heard what you heard. Confirm. Okay? And sometimes you can say something completely opposite so that the person can catch it and say, well, wait a minute, that's not what I was trying to say to you. What I was trying to communicate was this. And then you're getting true communication. Kelly, can you help me here?
Sure.
You want to actually ask for introductions. So who else does this person know that they think would appreciate the opportunity to provide you this information. Many folks will see this as a positive opportunity, and be sure to write up your notes quickly, okay? You not necessarily remember that you're trying to have a conversation with this person. So feel free to take some notes in that. But if you literally are writing down everything word for word, it's going to stop that conversation. You know that when you sit down with someone, you go have coffee, most times you don't take notes. All right. So try to either write down 1 or 2 words so you've got trigger points. And then when this session has ended, write down your notes automatically or use your phone and do a voice recorder automatically. Again, some people like to record these sessions. Other people don't. There's mixed feelings about that. Some folks think recording the session for the first few minutes, people are uncomfortable and then they kind of forget and then they open up. Other folks find it to be a distraction. So that's something that you could test. You could pivot or proceed, right? Build, measure, learn. We can use this in all different areas. You want to look for patterns. Oh, look at this. The patterns are also the trends. You hear us talk about this in the Small Business Development Center all the time. Understanding what the trends are in your industry, understanding what the trends are happening locally, understand what the trends are in anything that you particularly care about that has to do with your business, okay? What are the patterns in these conversations? They're going to be very easy to pick up from the social media piece. Like Kelly had said, he had 150 replies to this particular Facebook piece. They could very, very quickly take a look at that and see what were the similarities in what people were saying and what were the differences in people were saying. It's these patterns that are going to actually direct you to pivot or proceed.